are the final 256 that really win the 12 rounds of preliminaries since last year. So we talk about today that will be a really great show for all our viewers. So talk about where we are today. So this is the Xilingol. I believe that a lot of people are quite familiar. This is in the center of the Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region. But talk about today where we are. This is very beautiful scene. This is at the northeast side of the Xilingol, and we also have quite a lot of films actually taking the scenes here. So I believe this is a perfect venue, and for today, because we already enter into the autumn season, it's quite helping weather to hold today's wrestling. And we talk about the Boke, or the Mongolian wrestling, that's with a long history and fun tradition. All right, please bear with me because we have quite a lot of crowd here. So a little bit impact our signals. So welcome to tuning with CGTN New Media. Right now we're coming to you from Inner Mongolia. And we talk about today, this is a wrestler's battle for the crown. And this is called Boke, or the Mongolian wrestling. So we talk about the Boke that have enjoyed a quite long history. So we talk about these Boke, the Mongolian word for wrestling, has a history of more than 2,000 years. And actually, around one of the Mongolians' age-old three manly skills, so that including the Boke, or the wrestling, the horse racing, and archery. So there are three manly skills that for the Mongolian man, you should own them. So if you want to be a man in Inner Mongolia or Mongolian, you should be on these three. And on the top of the list, you first should be good at wrestling. So we talk about here, this is actually the home or the birthplace of Boke. So you talk about actually every one out of three people here, they actually good at Boke. So we talk about these activities enjoy a very large base of population. So you can see this is right now on the stage. You can see this is man-to-man battle. So this is a rigid hand-to-hand sport, relying more on raw physical power. If you want to really take the other guy down, it's not that easy, because this is really the physical competition rather than a wide variety of techniques. So if you really want to take that person down, besides your physical strength and also some wisdom. So during the whole process, sometimes it's really short. So you have one really good way to take the other down just in a second, but sometimes it really takes a little longer time. To look at what they're addressing, that's a little bit different. Look at the wrestler. We have one with a very nice, colorful silk around the neck. That's called the junga in local language. So Janga, that represents a honor of the wrestlers. So basically, that represents these wrestlers won a award before. So basically, how many silks or colorful silks on the neck represent this person won how many awards before. So right now they tidy up a little bit. So talk about this is not what really we think about. This is quite a wild game. We talk about wrestling. I should be aggressive. Yes, that's aggressive, like fighting. It's a battle, but still they enjoy these sports. Enjoy quite long history and also with a very fine tradition. You can see during the process they also will tidy up a little bit their clothing and then start the game again. Talk about Mongolian wrestling, Boke. It's not the same as the traditional understanding of the Chinese wrestling or the Japanese sumo wrestling. Okay, we can see the winner is so excited. So you can see Janga, this guy, this colorful Janga around his neck with really rich experience. And they coming back to the judge, the referee, and confirm the final results. So you can see they more or less have the same physical shape, body shape. So continue my topic. We talk about the Mongolian wrestling is different from both Chinese wrestling and Japanese sumo wrestling. So we talk about why it's different. It's distinguished by its rules, methods, uniforms, and fields. You can talk about actually you can have a different ways to get your enemies on ground. The person who touches the ground with any part of the body above the knees is the loser. I will talk about, but for the faces like a nose, like the mouth, the eyes are not allowed to touch. It's more like a gentleman battle. So we talk about there's no time limit and the opponents can pull, kick, trip, push, and hold. So we talk about actually 1 hour before this was a opening ceremony, and you can see there are a lot of culture shows. So we talk about this is a fighting, a wrestling, but still it's good for the people that for all different age groups to enjoy it. So we talk about actually this is more for friendship. So in order to show our viewers a good understanding and a closer look of this game, I also invite a special guest. And you can talk about he actually before had a rich experience in Mongolian wrestling for more than 15 years. And today he is also the chief judge. So hello to all. So today I believe a lot of our viewers, the first time for them to see this game. So would you please talk a little bit about this game? This is a Mongolian wrestling or called Boke competition. So you also won a lot of awards, right? Yes. I'm also actually joined the national team. So I also represent the Inner Mongolian to join the national game and also won 2 gold medals. So talk about the Mongolian wrestling, the Chinese wrestling, or the sumo from Japan. What are the difference? Because they are all called wrestling. So talk about the book. Actually, I believe you can see we have a lot of populations. You can see there are no weight or age restrictions nor fixed numbers. As long as the numbers are even numbers that risen rise from 2, 4, 6, 8. So there is no really big restrictions. We talk about really the elderly people, they not really like to participate. But still, we have a really low threshold for people. Basically, we welcome everyone to join us. So there's no restrictions in terms of weight or age. As long as you are a healthy person, you are welcome to join. So look at our prairie. This is a really vast space, and talk about Boke is one of Mongolians' age-old 3 manly skills, enjoy a quite long history, a history of more than 2,000 years. So you talk about large-scale events, or you just celebrate the birthday of your mom. Actually, you all can have this kind of Boke activities. We talk about actually there's no fixed numbers, and the largest people participation we have around the 200. So we talk about that the a number should be even numbers that rise from 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, and continue to double. And today we have 256 people. So for the first round, we'll cut half of people out, and then we have 128 people left. And for the third round, we have 64 people left. So basically all the even numbers. So the finals will be the 2 people. There will be the first and second place. So we talk of Mongolian wrestling. Basically no fixed numbers as long as the numbers are even numbers. So that the rise from 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, and then continue to double through to 128, and today we're up to 256. So for the first round, we'll cut half of the contestants out. And today we have 12 rounds. Basically, that 12 rounds has happened before. That's our preliminary sessions. And right now, you look at the final 256 wrestlers. They are the strongest guys. They are the Hercules. So right now, you are seeing this is the first round of the competition. Right now, you see there are the 32 athletes. So basically, they will be paired up, and we'll cut half out. And the rest 16 will come into the second round. So basically, we talk about all wrestlers are matched by drawing the straws or by respecting the judges. The game uses single elimination rules. In that, victory or defeat is determined once. So we look at there's no weight limitation. So that we have you look at sometimes they have quite a differences in weight and body shape. No one knows who will win. So that's also the interesting part of this game. So basically, they draw the straws were picked by the judges. For this time, actually, it's just draw the lots. So basically, it's a random lot. And we talk about the loser is not allowed to compete again. So therefore, half of the contestants will be eliminated each time. So for the first round, right now you can see these are the 32 contestants. And 16 will be out. 16 will continue their competition for the second round. So they don't know who they will compete with. It's drawn by lots. I wish them all good luck. And we also talk about that there will be some very strong, competent. So we talk about these kind of seeded players. Sometimes through the random draw, the two seeded players meet each other at the first round. So one of them, of course, will be eliminated. Right, welcome back. So because we have quite a big crowd here, sometimes it's not that good. And we talk about, let's continue our conversation with our special guest. And the gentleman is also the chief judge today. So we look at actually they have a different clothing, but actually that's all made from the cattle hide. And you can see they either were coating with silver or gold. And for the clothing, sometimes you can tell that clothing also enjoy quite long history. You can tell actually that's a family one, basically that carry forward one generation by another generation. And we also use brass. So we also use the brass for the holder because that you need to make your clothes is a little bit stretch and also resistance enough. And we talk about want to really copy actually a male lion. And we talk about it's like the horse hair. It should be really resilient. And the zhanga, as we said before, zhanga represents the honor, the award that wrestler won before. Basically, this a reputation like the gold medal from the Olympic Games. This just represents themselves. So they also not allow other people to really touch their zhanga. So zhanga means that a colorful, a silk around their necks. It's not everyone entitled to wear the zhanga. We have the traditional rules and regulations. So the best newcomers that should win the game among 128 contestants, and they participate this kind of population games for 3 times. And also for the retired wrestlers who think like a young boy with quite great potential, you also can give your own zhanga to the young generation. And also the local government, you think that they are the seeded players, you think about the future hope, you can grant it a zhanga to them. And we also talk about that these guys, if the newcomers win the award 3 times, and that game should have at least 128 people as contestants. So zhanga is not everyone can own it. It's a privilege. And to talk about, I don't know, our viewers can see it clearly in the middle of our picture. That's the shape of zhanga. So look at the wrestler, if they wear this kind of very colorful zhanga around their neck, you know they are practicing Mongolian wrestling and they are the strong one. It looks so beautiful. Everyone actually want to have it, want to own it, and that's also represent Mongolian people. That also represents Mongolian nation. This is a toughest award for everyone that practicing Mongolian wrestling. So that's the honor. So zhanga actually is really everyone chasing for it. And look at their pants, it's quite oversized. Yes, in tradition, we always make it oversized. And we also have boots coming together, either Mongolian boots or the horse boots. So make sure it's really tight, really moving with your foot. For the pants, also quite make you can move flexible. And you look at the gentleman here with a zhanga around his neck. And also you look at his pants, quite oversized, very easy to move. And they also, I believe, have a different pattern or graphic on their pants. Very strong, aggressive, very sharp animals like a lion. Or you also can put your hometown name. You have different patterns. You can choose whatever you want. And we can see right now the game already on. So you can see actually they will in the battle for a while and then stop a little bit. So we talk about Mongolian wrestling. A different point is here that the 2 guys here, so as the judges call, the opponents first shake hands to show respect to each other and then begin to wrestling. So there is no time limit. So the two contestants saying it's time to stop a little bit. They can stop the game to rest a little bit and then continue the game again, because there is and they will also utilize the time to tidy up their clothes, think about the tactic, or think about the whole previous game. So this is the gentleman game. So this is the Mongolian wrestling. That's also the different part compared to the Chinese wrestling and Japanese sumo wrestling. And we talk about even in the Mongolian wrestling, where the different part of the Mongolian, we talk about the western part, the eastern part, they all have a little bit of dressing difference. But overall, we talk about the rule of the game, all the same. Just a little bit different in the clothing. The thing is, one is not allowed to rest while holding the other's legs. If you hold the other's legs, then you are suddenly lose the game. So you can see this is quite like a two lions. The male lions fight each other. We talk about it's indeed rely on your physical strength, but also you should be smart. So you should think about how to really borrow the other's power to let them down. And also with this year's development, you can see Mongolian wrestlings as organized, held every year, and also held more than once per year. We have a lot of different celebrations, events, and more populations, more people participate in the game, and we talk about the award. The bonus of the game actually also increase. So we talk about the wrestlers. They should strictly follow the rules and the regulations. You cannot break the law, break the rules. And this is also should be cherished and follow the fine tradition. You look at the way they on the stage. This is the fixed culture. You should really have that dance moves, and also you should shake the hands to show respect to each other. If someone is really lie down, you also should help them to get up. This we have all these traditions that should not be forget. You talk about the lion dance. That's the way how they on the stage, and that's also a kind of warm up. So that's basically a lion dance to showcase their masculine power, but also through this kind of dance movement, they also can shake the warm up a little bit for the competition. So we talk about how many these kind of basic moves you should own in order to practice Mongolian wrestlings. Tons of it, and more than hundreds of different movements. We talk about the tactic. Actually, there are a lot of different techniques, different ways of wrestling, but really practical one. Also around, I say, 20 moves, but still more than hundreds of moves. So we talk about the basic ones. Actually, there are around 20, but you talk of different combination or extension of one basic move that will be actually more than hundreds. So you can see this clothing. So look at these are made from the cobra-nickel, or sometimes they use silver. So this is really physical strength consuming, right? For sure. They also train very hard. And today we talk about we have quite a lot of commercial driven competition before, just for the event driven. And a lot of the amateurs that just participate in the events, but you talk about right now as Boke developed, there are a lot of the competitions for commercial purpose. And also have the strict requirement on their clothing. And the wrestlers, of course, should train themselves, otherwise they cannot really have a good result. In order to have a good performance, in order to get damu or the colorful silver around their neck, they should practice, train hard. They also have like a studio basically to train themselves or to train the next generation. We have a lot of small kids. They practice Mongolian wrestlings in this kind of studio. So you have like more than 30 years of experience practicing Boke. So what do you think is the biggest difference? Talk about 30 years ago and today. So back then, there is no commercial competition, just let's say the big events, the big occasion. We have this kind of competition in order to get the damu. So we also actually back then that also enjoyed a very large population. There was no time limitation. We should not say you should finish the game in a certain time period. There's no time limit. And for the longest game, actually, that lasted 7 days. And that's actually also have the people coming from our surrounding areas. And they bring their Mongolian yurt. And they set up their Mongolian yurt around the event venue. And for the winners, actually, they will also receive a live camel. And the first place in Boke is an achievement the Mongolians doesn't take lightly. So we talk about win a live camel and also the prize like golden cups, the scarves, and other artistic works. And a second place, that's also give the horse, and the third place will be a live cow. So basically, in 30 years ago, we not really gave money. So you look at like this kind of animals, like the horse, camel, cow. And today, you transfer them as cars, motorcycles, or bonus. A lot of games actually for the first 3 places, for the top 3 places, they just got bonus. And then what about today, this year? What the winner will have? So after the 12 rounds of competition, right now we have the final 256 Hercules. And they also have the award for the tournament. So basically the bonus are around 30K to 50K. So talk about from right now the round 1 till the final round. The contestants will all receive different kinds of the prize. So top 16 competitors, including the top 3 winners, will be recognized and receive the prize or the bonus. So we see still the competitors have a different body shape. We have some is quite strong and some is not that strong, but they can move in a very agile way. So you talk about actually a person with quite strong big body that still takes some advantages, but still you only have that physical strength without tactic, without any techniques. That person still cannot win the game. So you should win both. You have to be strong in both, in your physical strength and also be smart. Right now, this is still the first round of games. You can see they're quite aggressive. So you can see the Mongolian wrestlings enjoy quite vast venue. So the whole prairie or the stage of the competition. And sometimes it's like the Tai Chi. It's make concessions in order to gain advantages. So basically, the retreat in order to advance or utilize the other powers' strengths to hit them down. You cannot really easily to see who will be the final winners. No one can tell. So we have these 256 wrestlers. So tomorrow afternoon, we'll know exactly the top 3 winners. As we talk about for the first round, we will kick 16 out. And this afternoon, we will have 128 people left, and then it's 64, and then it's 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. So it's also good for the judges to make their decision. So it's also not allowed to have many wrestlers in the venue. So talk about our young generations. So what's the age limitation? The youngest competitors actually will also have the kids Mongolian wrestling competition. So as long as it's like a 3 years old or 4 years old, they really cry to allow them to join the game, and it's not really want to win or get an award. They really show their passion to this game, to this sport. So you can always see their young generations, they line up and they pair up by themselves. So they have their passion in this game. They show their interest. And I believe that's also a very good platform for these young kids. And we'll also give them some small prizes. That's also kind of a courage. So encourage them to continue along this path. So right now you are also organize a committee of Mongolian wrestling here in Xilingol. So talk about our community, how we promote the Boke sport. For our community, basically everything, all the events should follow the laws and the rules of the games. We also be a watchdog to see every event that operates according to the rules. And our committees will also help to organize the different events and the competitions. So basically, we really help to promote the sport. And we have any ways, good ways to promote this sport? Yes, you can see right now we have more Boke events happening every year. But still, a lot of events not really know exactly how to organize the Boke sports event. What's the rules? Because only wrestling committee are entitled to draw and release the rules and regulations. So we will also help to monitor whether the event follow the rules or not. And also the committee is also entitled to grant the award. That's the colorful award around their necks. So we have the academy or schools for the young generations. Yes, right now this is also a class. We have a Boke exercise in their sports class, and we also have the competitions for the primary and middle school students. So we talk about for entry level kid. They want to be a professional Boke players, how long they should be practiced. First, you should see whether that kid is interested in this sport or not. And for a very young age, they should start to participate in this kind of events, the kids events, and also should also participate in the primary and middle school competition. And after they're turning 18 years old, they should join the adult competition. I can see if they want to be a very professional Boke wrestlers, at least 15 years. Of course, they should train really hard every day, either in their schools or they have a short, intense trainings like a wrestler camp that also should be participated. So look like we just finished a quite nice game. So we talk about the Boke. We just have the victory or lose. So we have the draw game, right? Yes. So they continue the game until the end. There is no dead hit. We should have the winner. Right now we talk about the competition normally lasts 2 to 3 days. They should not impact the second round of the competition. You look at the round 1 right now, they cannot really choose who's the winner. They can continue the game if, like, say, the round 1, so talk about the 256 contestants. So basically that's 128 pairs. So 16 or 32 people for the first round, second round. If you not impact the second round, then the judges allow you to continue your competition. If we talk about the first round, 128 contestants all finish their games, then we'll limit the time. So in certain time period, you should finish the game. So basically, it's like the freestyle wrestling. So we have the certain holder to start the game. So it's very easily to choose the winner. And you can see these two also help each other to tidy up a little bit. This is more like a friendship. It's not fighting. It's not aggressive fighting. A lot of sometimes you always can see that the friendship, the brotherhood. Yes, we still need to get the other done, but it showcases the friendship. Of course, they should show all what they got. That show the respect to the spectators, to our viewers, and also to their opponent. But sometimes we talk about these two pairs. They are the really, really nice bodies, but still they need to really show all they got in order to respect each other. That's also the sportsmanship. Because behind you, you have the reputation, the honor of your hometown on your shoulder. So we talk about the Mongolian wrestlings. We really want to promote the friendship. So we also talk about that you don't feel comfortable, we can stop the game, you tidy up a little bit, rest a little bit, and we continue the game. So you cannot really find the holders, you cannot really show your technique. You should really have the good holder first and then have your techniques. So why we want to really find the holder? Because you want the other one in the inferiority position. So this is very important. First, you need to find that holder. So right now you can see this is quite a difference in their physical strength. They not have the same tall, not the same physical strength, but we don't know. You cannot really tell who will be the winner. You talk about actually we have a lot of outstanding wrestlers. They're not that tall, they're not that strong, but they move in a very agile way, and they always can win the game. And we also talk about their clothing. We also have actually look at their clothes as inspired by lions, elephants. So they inspired by this kind of the aggressive animals, the sharp animals, and also the strong ones. And we also talk about the patterns that also can be inspired by your hometown. You also can bring your hometown's name on your pants or the totem on the graphic on your pants. Till now, we cannot really tell who will be the winner. So for the wrestlers without Janga, so we talk about before they may be the athletes practicing freestyle wrestling. So they have a quite short time period practicing Boke or the Mongolian wrestlings, and we also talk about that. We not really always grant Janga at every event. So we talk about when it's time to grant this great award Janga. It's this event we have a Naadam Awards Ceremony. Like today we have two honorable athletes that retired. So these two retired wrestlers are also entitled to grant Zhanga. So it's not always can get Zhanga in every event. I believe these two are left for the round 1, right? So we talk about they are quite even. They cannot really decide who will be the winners. So in the end, the judge will come out. And they will also throw the coin. So if I have the right to first choose the holder, then I will choose the holder. So this is basically by turn. Because right now, what they are struggling is everyone want to get that helpful holder. As long as you hold that, you can show your technique. So you can see these are the only 2 left. But round 1. So you need to get the holder, the really important holder, to make the other in the inferiority position. So we will see when is the time the judge will come out to say you need to finish the game in certain time period. Like the Naadam normally lasts 2 to 3 days. So today for our viewers, we really bring you this close look, a wrestler battle for the crown in North China's Inner Mongolia. And thank you very much for introducing a lot of the information and knowledge about Boke. As we said, we are right now coming to you in Xilingol, North China's Inner Mongolian Autonomous Region from August 13 to 15. Besides Boke, actually, we also have a lot of other events going on. So this is the Naadam Awards Ceremony. So we talk about there are a lot of nice foods waiting for us, and we also have a lot of really good tourism events going on. So for our viewers, if you think you're really excited to come, please come. We really invite you to really pay a visit here to look at these really special events and also taste some nice food. And that's also coming to the end of today's live stream.